They told us light men beautiful, dark men difficult. Same blood, same root, still divided by the visual. Mama said, baby, stay proud. World said, tone it down. Funny how the sun kissed me. Then they used my skin to clown. Shade chart, shade chart. Everybody got scars, trying to measure human worth by how bright somebody are. Shade chart, shade chart. Ain't that system bizarre? We all came from blackness, now they fighting over stars. Ooh, little girl in the mirror with cocoa skin, watching TV like, where do I fit in? Every princess beige, every angel light. Dark girl only strong when she gotta fight. Teacher said I'm intimidating. Same attitude, I know what's captain. Same lips, same set, same confidence too. But somehow it hit different when the skin deep blue. Grandma with the hot comb Sunday morning, saying stay out the sun like a weather warning. Pass down pain in a whispering tone. Colorism really started inside the home, and that hurt worse, cause the call came from inside first. We learned self-hate before self-worth. Generational curse in reverse. They told us light men beautiful, dark men difficult. Same blood, same root, still divided by the visual. Mama said, baby, stay proud. World said, tone it down. Funny how the sun kissed me. Then they used my skin to clown. Shade chart, shade chart. Everybody got scars, trying to measure human worth by how bright somebody are. Yeah, yeah. He said you pretty for a dark-skinned girl, like that was supposed to rob my world. Backhanded compliment wrapped in poison. Smile in my face while the bias still showing. Corporate rooms love, racially vague. Long as your features don't make waves. Too black to lay, too dark for luxury ads. Then they steal the rhythm and call it culture fad. Little boys growing up hearing the same lies, thinking lighter means trophy in their eyes. So they chase approval instead of healing the wound. Whole community bleeding to an old racist tune. See, colorism ain't vanity, it affects opportunity. Dating, jobs, sentencing, unity, mental health, visibility, dignity. And the wild part, we inherited the blueprint. Now we gotta decide if we're brave enough to lose it. Melanin heavy like midnight rain. Ancestors living inside my veins. I will not shrink for acceptance now. I was born divine, I remember now. Yeah, no more paperback tests in disguise. No more favoritism hidden in likes. No more good hair conversations built on colonizer validation. Brown skin, deep skin, gold skin glow. Every shade got a story to hold. A healing star when we finally see the chains on. The mind ain't jewelry. So if my daughter asks what beauty is, I'ma point at the mirror, not the movies is. Tell her every shade under God got light. Yeah. And nobody got a dim to shine bright, yeah. We've been surviving mirrors too long, trying to edit ourselves to belong. But the truth, the darker the night, the clearer the stars. Steps off, baby. This ain't just a vibe, it's a sanctuary. You just walked into the love palace. Welcome to a daily dose of D. Wrap yourself in satin, truth. This love ain't rushed, it's velvet smooth. Silk on your spirit, rose in your mouth. Let me show you what healing's really about. Ooh, she don't play with pleasure, nah. Only pours it where it's earned. Let it burn slow. A daily dose of D. Let the love run deep and free. One touch and you'll believe. She's the calm, she's the heat, she's the peace you need. Here in the love palace, where even broken ships sail smooth. Anchor down, baby, daily dose of D. Your prescription to feel seen. No refills, just show up and receive. Let your ships drift into healing seas. We don't chase waves, we ride them. She don't beg, she just glows.
Hello, everyone. Before we get into today's conversation, I want to say this with love. The topic can be sensitive for many people. The purpose of the this discussion today is not to judge, shame, or create division. We are here to have an honest conversation, create awareness, and hopefully bring healing and understanding. Everybody's experiences are different, so I ask that we approach this conversation with open hearts, respect, and maturity. Now let's go ahead and talk about it. Some people learn to measure beauty by shade. People who learn softness belong to one complexion, while strength belongs to another. Some grew up hearing too dark, while others heard not dark enough. Some were praised before they even spoke, simply because their skin fit someone else's comfort zone. And somewhere along the way, mirrors became judges instead of reflection. Colorism is quiet sometimes. It hides in jokes, family comments, dating choices, beauty ads, music videos, and childhood memories. I can sit at the dinner table. It can walk into friendships. It can even live inside us without realizing it. Tonight, we are not here to shame people at all. We are here to heal conversations people are scared to have. Because healing starts when honesty enters the room. And if love is real, then love cannot discriminate by shade. Welcome to Daily Dose of D. Grand rising, grand afternoon, or grand evening, depending on what time of day you're watching Daily Dose of D. I am your host, GoddessDee of Love. How's everyone doing today? We have made it to Friday Eve, y'all. Some call it Thirsty Thursday, some call it Thankful Thursday. But here at Daily Dose of D, today we're going to call it Stop, Think About It Thursday. Stop, Think About It Thursday. hmm So, we're getting into a deep discussion today, and that's why I have my tea. Not only am I drinking the tea, to calm me down and relax me, I'm going to give you the tea and we're going to clock that tea. Y'all feel me? So, with that being said, the word of the day today is colorism. Colorism is discrimination, favoritism, or bias based on the lightness or darkness of a person's skin tone, often within the same race or ethnic group. And on this Stop and Think About It Thursday, we have the quote of the day. Every shade has a story, every shade has beauty, and every shade deserves respect. Colorism thrives in comparison, but healing begins in appreciation. Let's choose love over shade and unity over judgment. Our difference, our differences should celebrate us, not separate us. All right, y'all, we about to get into this content today about colorism. Let me go ahead and sip my tea. You might have to get you a beverage or so too if you like. Okay? So, as we dive into this conversation, I want to welcome everybody back here at Daily Dose of D. And if you're new here, welcome as well. So, before I dive into today's talk, let these words that I'm going to say settle in your spirit. We're going to set the tone before we get into breaking the word down. We are a canvas of thousand strokes, from the deep mahogany of a midnight sky to the softer honey of the morning sun. Yet, somewhere along the way, we started measuring the worth of the art by the lightness of the paint. We built fences between brothers and walls between sisters, forgetting that every shade is a masterpiece and every tint holds the same ancient soul. It's time to pull back the layers and look at the truth beneath the skin. Colorism is discrimination, favoritism, or judgment based on the lightness or darkness of someone's skin tone. It can happen between different races, but it also happens within the same race or culture. People with lighter skin are often treated differently than people with darker skin because society has attached ideals, stereotypes, and value to complexion. Colorism can affect confidence, relationships, even opportunities. There's those beauty standards and even how people see themselves. Sometimes it's loud and obvious, and others times it's subtle and hidden inside comments people think are harmless. The word colorism comes from the word color, which refers to the complexion or skin shade. The term became more widely recognized in conversation about social inequality and beauty standards. So, at its root, colorism is about assigning value to people based on a skin tone instead of character. Family, have you ever noticed how society tells people to love themselves, but constantly pushes one image of beauty more than the other? Sometimes people spend years trying to fit standards they never created. That is why conversations like this matter. Protect your peace, protect your identity, and remember your worth is deeper than your appearance. So I want you to sit back, relax, go ahead and grab your tea, your beverage, whatever drink that you're having. Go ahead and tell that one person that, hey, GoddessDee is over there talking about colorism, or maybe more than one person. I would appreciate that. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe while you're doing that. And I will continue this conversation right after these messages.
Let's start off by defining colorism because surprisingly, some people don't know what that is. Colorism is not racism. Colorism is the prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. So one of the reasons why it's really important to know what colorism is, especially if you are racially ambiguous or mixed race, or actually if you're not, because you should just know what it is you don't want to get stuck in a situation where you're being culturally insensitive to the prejudice that exists within your race of people or your ethnicity of people.
seen. Still something need me, remembers things. Hands no rhythm, my mind can't trace. Like I've been shaped by another place. There's a fire in me I didn't light. Still it burns through every night. Call it memory, call it truth, but it don't feel new. They don't knock, they just arrive in every breath that keeps me alive. I'm not walking alone, I feel them here, in every doubt, in every tear. They left their footsteps in my soul. Now they echo through me. Now they echo through me.
Welcome back, beautiful souls. If you did not get an opportunity to tap into Gateway to the Ancestors at Blended Healing Realms, you missed another great episode 9 to be exact. I am really enjoying the series, so tap in, see what you learn and benefit from it. Like I said, she's on episode 9, so if you have the time, go ahead and run all those back. So when she comes back next Wednesday at 7 p.m., you will be right there for episode number 10, okay? That information is being dropped into the chat. So, as you know, we are talking about a sensitive subject today, but needs to be talked about. Colorism, the conversation we keep avoiding. So when we ask what colorism is in its simplest form, we are talking about a specific type of discrimination. It isn't just about different races clashing. It's about the performance for lighter tones over darker tones, often within the same ethnic or racial group. It's the unspoken ideal that being fairer makes a person more attractive. hmm That's what they say. And more intelligent or more capable. It's a social hierarchy that ranks people based on how much melanin they really carry, creating a world where the closer you are to a certain ideal look, the easier your path might be. Colorism is a deeper than preference. It becomes harmful when lighter skin is viewed as more acceptable, more beautiful, more feminine, and more professional, or more valuable than darker skin. It creates separation where there should be unity. Some people experience this growing up in their own household. One child might be praised more while another one is criticized because of the complexion, excuse me. Some people hear comments like, stay out the sun, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl or guy, or light-skinned babies are so prettier, so much prettier. Those statements may sound small to some people, but repeated words shapes minds. Let me say that again. Repeated words shapes minds. Colorism can teach people to compare themselves constantly. It can make people feel unseen, less desirable, or not enough. Over time, that pain can become insecurity, resentment, or even silence. So, over time, criticism or Colorism, I should say, has shifted from a tool of survival to a standard of beauty and status. Now, let me break this down. In the past, it was often tied to labor, where those working indoors away from the sun were seen as higher statuses than those working in the field. As centuries passed, this transformed into what we see now today in modern media, advertising, and especially the beauty industry. For decades, the face of success of beauty has been skewed toward lighter complexion. This has a deep-seated effect on how communities view themselves, making it more than just a preference. It's a global standard that people felt they had to meet just to be seen. Historically, colorism has roots connected to slavery, colonization, class systems, and social hierarchy. In many societies, lighter skin became associated with privilege, power, wealth, or even access. Darker skin was often unfairly connected to hard labor, lower status, or negative stereotypes. Now, over time, those beliefs spread it into the media, entertainment, workplaces, schools, and even relationships. Certain skin tones were centered more in magazines, movies, advertisements, and beauty campaigns. Many people grew up rarely seeing darker skin celebrated equally. This generated, this created generations of people who unconsciously learned to associate beauty and success with lighter complexions. Even today, some people still struggle to separate themselves from those learned beliefs. Let me take a sip right here. Take a sip of your beverage if you have some. Family, healing does not always start with answers. Sometimes healing starts when somebody says, that hurt me. Some conversations are uncomfortable because they expose things people have normalized for years. But that growth lives inside the uncomfortable truth. So go ahead and take that on in. Take another sip. Take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath together. And let it out. And I'm going to continue this conversation a little bit more right after these messages.
The closer you are to white, the more acceptable you are. So that, for example, all of us learned as we were growing up in the black community, if you are black, stay back. If you are brown, stick around. If you are yellow, you're mellow. And if you're white, you're right. And the appreciation of an individual, even within the black group itself, was very often based on the relative absence of skin pigmentation. And even within families, children thought that they were ugly if they were darker. And families, parents have said that to children. Even now, people want to know when a baby is just born in the hospital, some of the first questions that are asked by the black parents about the child or the black family members, is it light skin and does it have straight hair? To know how much value we're going to put on this new baby. Because within the framework of the culture in which we live, the closer you are to white, the more you can.
welcome to the new digs. This is our fresh home for holistic royalty, and I cannot wait to show you around. Come on in. Right here is the apothecary wall, rows of handcrafted oils, elixirs, and tonics. Every bottle is blended in-house, labeled in gold, and ready for your ritual. Slide over to each item is crafted to nurture you from the inside out. Whether you're here for a cup of comfort, a moment on the mat, or a jar of something indulgent, it's all about honoring yourself. Thanks for walking through with me. Can't wait to see you soon.
Plants on the altar, smoke in the air. She been healing while she.
Today, I'm creating my rheumatoid relief tincture, a companion product for pain and inflammation support, especially for joints, knees, and knuckles. This blend includes ginger, foxwellia, devil's claw, nettle leaf, ashwagandha, and glycerin. After the ingredients are infused, I have strained the mixture so I'm left with the herbal extract. Then I combine it with glycerin and gently blend it together. After that, I pour the finished tincture into 2-ounce dark green bottles, cap them, and give each one other tinctures with my special touch are available at chmonessentials.com. Shop today.
How I use it. I fill the dropper all the way up, then let the whole thing drop under my tongue. I do this first thing in the morning and again at night. It's that simple. If you like a cozy cup instead, scoop a teaspoon of the loose blend into a steeper, drop it into hot water, and let it brew for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Side in the chest, meditation in emotion. She don't overstep. If her body say yes, she don't second guess everything.
Welcome back, Love Palace family. Make sure you tap into Holistic Royalty by Kels. Remember last night I didn't take my, yesterday I didn't take my tinctures. I did this morning. I took them this morning. I personally take the rheumatoid tincture that was specifically made in my honor. And when I tell you it works well for me, it does. Well, along with different tinctures that I take as well. But if you connect with Holistic Royalty by Kels, or go to Shamaka Essentials, www.shamakaessentials.com, you can see the variety of things that they have for your health needs as well. And you can also connect with them on a personal level, and something can be crafted just for you. So tap into Holistic Royalty by Kels. All right, family, we're going to get back into this conversation, okay? Because do you know what colorism bias is? Colorism bias. That is automatic. Colorism bias is that automatic. Excuse me. It's often unconscious, shortcut our brains take when we meet someone. Let me say that again. Colorism bias is automatic and it's often unconscious. It's a shortcut our brains take when we meet someone. It's the tendency to assign positive traits like kindness or innocence to lighter skinned individuals, while unfairly assigning negative traits or toughness to those that are darker skinned. This bias shows up in schools where darker skinned students may be disciplined more harshly, or in the workplace, while hiring decisions might be influenced by a person's shade rather than their resume. It's a quiet thief that robs people of opportunities before they can even have a chance to speak. Colorism bias is when someone treats people differently based on skin tone, even without realizing it. A person may assume lighter is softer, smarter, cleaner, or more attractive. They may assume someone darker is aggressive, intimidating, and less desirable. Those right there, family, are biases. Biases can show up in dating, when you're applying for a job, or when you're hiring for a job, in friendships, media representation, and social treatment. Sometimes people are not even aware they're carrying these thoughts because they learned it from their family, that television, music, or social environment. especially social media. That is why self-awareness matters. People cannot change what they refuse to acknowledge. So let's talk truth now, family. Let's talk some truth. Let me drink some tea on this part. Let me drink some tea, y'all. So I want you to take all this tea and clock all this tea, because here's the painful truth. But it is absolutely possible to practice colorism against yourself. That is what we call internalized colorism. When you grow up in a world that constantly tells you that one shade is better than the other, you might start to believe it. Mm-hmm. And this can lead to feelings of inadequacy, a lack of self-confidence, or even the use of skin bleaching products to try to change who you are. That's the real thing, y'all. When we look in the mirror and wish our skin was different tone to fit in, we are practicing the very bias that was designed to divide us. Sometimes people internalize colorism and begin judging themselves by those same harmful standards. A person may dislike their complexion, so they avoid the sunlight, compare themselves constantly, or feel less attractive because messages they heard growing up, like you heard in that clip, right? Some people overcompensate to feel accepted. Others may reject their own features or project their own insecurities onto others. When someone has been taught for years that one shade is better, it can affect how they speak to themselves privately. This is one of the saddest parts about colorism. It really is. It can turn into self-rejection before a person even realizes it happened. This is why learning to love yourself is fully part of breaking the cycle. Learning to love yourself fully is part of breaking the cycle of internal colorism. A lot of people are carrying wounds from childhood, comments they laughed off publicly but replayed privately. Because words matter, family, especially the words spoken over children. Let me say that again. Words matter, especially the words spoken over children. Confidence can bloom from language, but insecurity can too. So take a sit back. I'm going to take another quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to wrap all this up and let you go for the day, okay? Right after these messages.
So I just came from outside, and I just think it's really funny that when I was a kid, I used to hate when I got dark, and I used to play like tennis, and I was in band and marching band, and so I was outside. Summer vacation, I was basically working, right? Like now, ooh, baby, I am waiting for that melanin. Like, I just think it's so crazy, the level of internalized colorism that we don't even realize until we get older. So what are some ways that you've internalized colorism, racism, whatever it is? Leave a comment below.
We
Welcome back, family. Welcome back. Now, listen up. There is a new TikTok page called The Love Palace that I would love for you guys to check out on TikTok and Instagram, to be exact. That information is in the chat. Your new insight coach, your clarity activator is here for you to help you find the best version of yourself. So go ahead and follow me, DM me. There's an email as well if you want to have this session and tap into who you are. Not for me to give you the answer, but for who you are, let me hook up with me. Because remember, everybody has a superpower. You just got to tap in and find out what it is. Now, let's go and back into this conversation about colorism so I can let you go for tonight. So a lot of people wonder if colorism is just another word for racism. But they're actually different branches of the same tree. Let me break this down. Racism is usually about the friction or power dynamics between different racial groups. Colorism, however, is more specific. You have two people of the exact same race, but because one is darker than the other, they are treated differently. While racism says your race is the problem, colorism says your specific shade is the problem. They overlap and work together, but colorism creates layers of inequality, even within the same family. For example, racism can happen between different racial groups. Colorism can happen within the same racial group. Two people may be the same race but treated differently because one has lighter skin and the other has darker skin. Both are harmful because they judge people based on the appearance instead of humanity. Both can create division, pain, and inequality. Understanding the difference helps people recognize behaviors that society often ignores. Colorism can appear in many ways. It can look like someone being considered more attractive because they are lighter skinned. It can look like dark skinned people being mocked, stereotyped, or overlooked. We see examples of colorism every single day, sometimes without even realizing it. You might see it in a movie where the love interest or the successful professional is always played by a lighter skinned actor, while the villain or the aggressor character is darker. You see it in the paper bag test. Let me take a sip because this is the part where I get a little triggered, y'all. Whew. Okay. The paper bag test of the past or the modern social media filters that automatically brighten or wash out skin tone. Even in our own homes, it shows up. When a relative praises a baby for having good skin just because it's light, or warns a child not to stay in the sun too long so they don't get too dark. Mm-mm. It can even happen in schools, in your workplaces, dating conversations, and social media comments, even in your family gatherings. Sometimes people hear comments disguised as compliments, like, you're cute for a dark skinned person. Yeah, you see me, you see how I'm looking. That statement may sound complimentary to some people, but it still places darker skin beneath another standard. Colorism also appears when people assume personality traits based on complexion. None of those assumptions are fair. So just imagine carrying confidence naturally until society teaches you comparison. A lot of people did not start out hating parts of themselves. They learned it slowly through comments, jokes, preferences, and silence. And that's why unlearning matters. And that's why unlearning matters. That is not a glitch, people. That is why unlearning matters. To avoid a colorism mindset, we have to start by being honest with our own thoughts. We must intentionally celebrate the diversity of beauty in all its forms. This means supporting media that represents everyone. Speaking up when we hear someone make a joke about skin tone and teaching the children in our lives that their value is not found in a color palette. We have to unlearn the ideal that light equals better and replace it with truth that every shade of skin is badge of heritage and a mark of beauty. The first step is honesty. People must be willing to examine their own beliefs, their preferences, their jokes, and assumptions. Ask yourself where your ideals about beauty came from. Pay attention to the language you use. May I offer? Stop comparing skin tones as if one is automatically superior. May I offer something else? Stop attaching personality traits, values, or attractiveness to complexion. Expose yourself to diverse beauty, diverse voices, and diverse representation. Learn to appreciate people without ranking them by appearance. Most importantly, family, treat people as human beings first. Skin tone should never determine respect, kindness, love, or opportunity. Breaking a colorism mindset requires intentional growth. So, Love Palace family, your skin is not a mistake. Your complexion is not punishment. You were not created to compare with shades on a color chart. Some people spent years trying to become accepted by standards that were never built with love in mind. Some people hide from the sunlight. Some people hide from mirrors. And some people hide from themselves. But healing begins when you stop apologizing for your natural existence. All skin deserves softness. The dog wants softness too, y'all. All skin deserves humanity. All skin deserves celebration. And every shade deserves respect without comparison. There's room for all of us to exist beautifully without hierarchy, without ranking, without division, without tearing each other apart to feel valuable. Make the real question, maybe the real question is not what shade is better. Maybe the real question is why society taught us to measure human worth by shade at all. Because love does not ask complexion first. Healing does not ask complexion first. Character does not ask complexion first. And if we truly want unity, then we must unlearn the things that taught us separation. So we stand at the crossroads of the deep and the light, realizing that the shadows we cast are all the same height. Why do we let the sun kiss become a curse in our eyes? Why do we listen to the echoes of old, tired lies? Your skin is a map of where your ancestors have been. It's the strength of the earth and the warmth within. From the ebony gates to the ivory shore, we don't have to fight the old battles no more. Let the healing begin in the way we speak, in the love that we give to the strong and the weak. For the pigment is nothing but a story told plain, and it's time all learn to love ever again.
I don't even know it's out of me.
Oh, look, I'm still drinking on my tea. I still got a little bit more tea left, y'all. But this is what I want to say to you guys today. Thank you for coming to Daily Dose of D today. This is a heavy subject, but it's one we must talk about if we ever want to heal our communities. Remember, you are beautiful and wonderfully made, exactly as you are. So, Love Palace family, tonight's conversation was not about attacking people. It was about creating awareness, accountability, healing, and understanding. And some of these wounds are generational. And some people are still trying to heal from things that heard as a child. Continue to have these conversations with compassion and honesty. Listen to understand instead of listening to defend. Let me say that again. Listen to understand instead of listening to defend. Now, this discussion is not over. We are continuing this conversation tonight on Where's the Love At? Hosted by Moufpeace, Cmon Brothers channel, and right here at the Love Palace. We're double streaming like we do every Thursday. So bring your thoughts, your experiences, your voice to the conversation, because healing starts when truth finally speaks out. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you for coming to the Love Palace, and I'll see you right back here or at Moufpeace's, either one, at Where's the Love At tonight. See you real soon.
I definitely used to have my issues with colorism, right? And it wasn't something that I kind of chose. It was kind of what was taught to me. Like, okay, I guess these type of girls just are better. They get more jobs. So I wanted to learn about them. And I actually, one of my best friends, we're different shades. And when I really feel like we hung out, I was like, y'all are just like me. Like, everybody's still struggling with insecurity, still got things they don't like about themselves, still got work to do on themselves. So I'm like, I'm just not going to let the world make me feel like I'm a lesser version of a quality girl, of beauty, of all of these things. If when I talk to these girls, they got the same issues as me. So we all fighting for our lives. So it kind of shifted my mind to be like, that might be the outer perspective, but inwardly, if you ain't got it, you just don't got it. If you don't love yourself, you just don't love yourself. It doesn't matter what shade range you're in, you know? And it really shifted my mindset. And then I also was really big on therapy. I've been with the same therapist for like 5 years. Hey,
5
girl.
years?
Yes.
She paid.
You wild. You're wild.
Thank you for the acknowledgement. He's wild, bro. Like, this is every day.
And you know what? And I'm going to keep supporting my girl. I support my black therapist. Black woman therapist.
Okay.
You tapping, you boss. Yeah. GoddessDee. Yeah. We asking one question tonight. Where the love?
Where the love?
Is it him or is it us? He say she tripping, she say he don't show enough. Where's the love while we keep switching it up? When it want honesty, men just won't trust.
Where's the love?
Everybody talking tough, but when the heart break, everybody hush.
Where's the love?
Maybe we both messed up.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Where is the Love? We're glad you tuned in.
Blessings on blessings. We appreciate you for sharing your time with us today.
You want peace but don't give respect. Then wonder why my attitude, nigga. You say I'm emotional, I say you cold. You say relax, I say be bold. You say loyalty, I say time. Love ain't words if you never show sign.
Now you looking confused like,
what did I do?
now she looking right back like,
You know the truth, huh?
she looking right back like,
You know the truth.
Lord.
Where is the love?
Is it him or is it us? He say she tripping, she say he don't show enough. Where's the love while we keep switching it up? Women want honesty, men just want trust.
Where's the love?
Everybody talking tough, but when the heart break, everybody hush.
Where's the love?
Maybe we both messed up. Tune in tonight, let's talk about us.
He say I'm working hard just to build my
Love like she don't just love, she heals and keep. Let go, let flow. Daily dose of tea in the land is free. In the love palace, ship stuck even here. Yeah, we got the time. GoddessDee. Whispering back when your heart needs reminding. D is divine, D is daily, D is love, a daily dose.